Minimize that. So I was asked somewhere earlier this year to, well, write a wrapper functionality for some SyncFusion control. And as it turns out, SyncFusion has a very nice library. Let me go down here. I'm going to skip this. Okay. Too lazy for that. What is SyncFusion? SyncFusion is a little bit like CodeJock, but then for the web. So it's actually quite interesting. Let's have a little look at what they're offering. Do a little tour there. And I'm guessing the easiest way is to look at some of the demos of what they have. And it's a little bit slow because my VM only has one core. Give it a few seconds. This is a demo VM and don't use it all the time. There we go. So one of the controls they have is a data grid. This is what I'm going to show you later on. You can do lots of stuff there. It has very extensive functionality of what you can do. But let's have a look at some of the other controls first. So they have more than just the grid, and that's why it's like a CodeJock library. At the moment, I'm going to show the grid because that's what I build a wrapper for, but there will be more over time. For example, they have a chart, which is nice. They got, well, almost anything you can think of. Just clicking on a few random ones. We've got a bar. That is nice. If you go over it, it actually shows more. It's all very interactive. Let me see if I can find some of the ones I'm looking for. For example, the pie one. And you look over, you can click on it too. And it will show you all that. Down here, they also have the code that you would need in order to get it to work in JavaScript. In this case, it's quite a bit, but it's not that impressive once you start wrapping it up. Here one. So that's quite nice. So they got charts. They also have, for example, a diagram, which is something I worked on for a customer. I did this already. Unfortunately, I cannot share that because they had something very specific, but I will look into wrapping it up in a more general way that is not as specific as what they need. You can do really a lot. Bigger, so it's very impressive. And that all comes built in. Click this, move it, click there, double click there, edit that. It's a lot you can do. And more than you, well, can imagine that would be needed there. Let's look at another one. We're not going to do everything, it's way too much. What is probably nice? Let me see. I like the toasts. They are pretty cool. Yeah. You can add real toasts, hide them. Different ones, different styles if you want. And let's see one of the last ones that was somewhere. Oh wait, of course, the scheduler. They have a scheduler as well. You can click on it, change it, edit it, event series. It's fancy, very, very fancy. So let's, all right, I forgot, that's how we get out. Go back to the presentation. I thought, all right. fun thing if you work in a browser for presentation, you have to go back. So is there a license cost? Yes, there is. And the last time I looked, it's kind of intimidating at first. It says $1,000 per developer for the first year, and then if you subscribe and renew the subscription, $445 for the years afterwards. But you only need to do that really if you have a company that makes over $1 million a year, and if you have more than 5 developers. Those are the main rules. Otherwise, you can sign up and get the community license, which is free. And I signed up for that, and it was really easy. They were very flexible. I got the account, and you even can ask for support on the community license. You get it for free, and they help you too. So that's quite amazing, really. What is the current state? Right now, I have the grid control wrapped and only as a web list, because, well, that's the easiest. As long as you don't need to edit, it's a lot easier. Although it certainly is doable to make it a real grid controllers and make it editable as well. It can be done. So how can you run it? You download it from, well, video guidance. There's a demo workspace down there, and you basically unzip it to a new folder and then register the web app and compile and run in DataFlex 19.1. So I guess it's about, yeah, it's about time to have a look at that. And get out of full screen mode here. So I don't know if you want me to go download and install or just run. Maybe run is enough. At least that's the quickest. Just there. So this is the demo workspace. I'm guessing some of you will already have seen it. I'll look through it. Give me a sec. Something I have planned to use isn't working. Oh, sorry about that. So basically, you have your grid here. This is not an auto entry. This is loaded from JSON. And how does that look like? Let's look at the code. Did not prepare this very well, so bear with me for a little bit. The JSON one is here. And if we look through it, it all looks like, well, and there you go, the CSF web list, pretty much standard database. It gets a demo data text from the data path, direct input, loads it there. Here in the on-post configure grid, we load that JSON, and that's almost all there is to it. Let's look at the columns that the grid makes up. So there's an order D, name, date. Yes. You can format it like this, align it. All of this is also, all of this is also supported in the, here, Property Explorer. So we can go here, and if you look here, then it's all supported there as well. So no problem using that. It would have been easy in this case to keep it pinned. Also for the grid, all the proper exposed, or the list I should say, reordering, and all that is all there. That's quite convenient, really. So let's get back here. The JSON grid. Now, does that again. That's because I've set it up to group. But if you want to do grouping yourself, basically you can group any column you want by dragging it here, and voila, you get it grouped. Then you can resize any column you want. You can say, well, I do not want the end user to resize it, then it cannot be resized anymore. We can get rid of the grouping thingy down there if you want, or, well, get it back. Collapse everything, then you have collapsed all the columns, all the orderings, the groups. One of the things you see here is called an aggregate column, and it doesn't aggregate, and in this case, the aggregation, or the sum, if you call, is 2. Let's see. I have a total on order ID, which is usually the total on freight. So that would be the freight line items. Back to another example. Here we have the grid, which is manually loaded, which is also why you're not seeing it with format here on zip, active, and state. And that's not really exciting. If you then use the data dictionaries, there's a data dictionary behind there. And currently I have my VM in Swedish regional settings, so it shows up as Crohn's, which is a bit silly, I guess, if you're not used to it. You also have dynamic buttons like this. You can, if you click on it, it knows what row you click. You can click here or double click. It tells the row ID. So all of that is in there. In salesperson list here, I have something special. I'll go over a few things. You can go to the top, control home, control end. That all works. You can use your keyboard up and down keys. That works. There's here an icon. Not sure. Yeah, it can click. Oh, I didn't intend to click that. All right. There's tooltips as well. It's sometimes stay a little bit long. Here I have something for Bob Stimson, as you can see. So let's have a look what I did there. It's in the sales list. The sales list. I'm guessing it would be this one. It's not that one, this one. It's for the person. It's an undefined CSS class, which is pretty much how it works in the data access web list as well. And as soon as the salesperson ID is BS Bob Stimson, in this case, then I'd do an ugly red box around Bob Stimson. So of course you can do pretty things with that as well. That makes more sense too, but this is just demo purposes, so I didn't spend time on making it lovely. And then here you have a link that you can click. Oh, and there's 2 of them. You can also put icons like that one here. That's no problem either. And the toolbar can be put away or not. You can show the grouped column or not. You just need to group it. So there you have the grouped column. And there it's gone. So then one of the funny things is that it's actually multilingual, all of it. Right now, it's, as you can see here, it's all the menu, all this is in Swedish. If I go back to one of the other ones, The menus are now in English. So that can be selected. Back to the Swedish one. What we also have here is that you can see that you can export to Excel, you can export to CSV, you can create a PDF report if you want. That should at least work. I'm not sure why that. Maybe I have disabled the disadvantage of working with demos now. Here, there's a auto header pop-up behind that one. So this is to test a bug that there was with some z-index feature. Another thing you can see here is that it actually has some custom toolbar items. So I was asked, I think a week ago, as in, can I add my own toolbar items? And well, there was some functionality there. It wasn't quite fancy, and that has been added now. You can see it down here. Let's see. And now you have an on-create toolbar items, and you can create your own toolbar there. So there's a tooltip on that one even. You can put in your own custom icons there. You have to look at this documentation for how to put your own icons. And the Excel export CSV and PDF, they are standard buttons that are added. There's also a search. I haven't shown the search. The search is quite nice too. For example, if you type, oh, okay. I seem to have put some nasty notify. That one. That was really nice, but in this case, not convenient. Let's go back there. So if I type please, and it should show only Liz Cornworth in this case. I don't know if there's Liza. I don't know if there's more than Liza. Let's have a look. It seems to be all like Liz. Here, I think we have set it to virtual. And in virtual, it has a few. No, it's not. Okay, never mind. Strange things. So I should have taken another example. So there's no sock. Oh, sock is Swedish for search. Maybe there's more than one Nick. I don't know. I didn't prepare that search too well, I see. Let's. The file upload was for fixing another z-index issue, which I did yesterday. Let's see what. Bless you. What else I can show? This is most of it. Last demo view, that's the standard data access view, which is just for testing differences.
Dave Robinson's playing with his bloody dog.
Hey, I can get the cat if you want. Let's get back to it. Right. So I shown most of it, not all the sorting I didn't. Well, that's easy to do. It's a matter of sorting somewhere. Just click, it sorts like that. You can actually also, so I didn't have all the columns there. You can select or remove columns here. That's in there, which is easy. It's also, if you go to here example. This one remembers if I take away, for example, sales, the salesperson, I take that away, and I'm gonna group on there. I'm gonna reorder here, and if I'm not mistaken, I go back to here and come back here. It should all have remembered. I did remember the customer, and I'm confused. Yeah, I think it did the rest too, didn't it? Let's do the reset. The reset needs to reload the view. Okay, that's mostly it. Back to yeah, and then well, that's it for the moment. There will be more, but you'll have to wait a little bit, or well, if you don't want to wait, you can always hire me and build it for you. That's no problem either. That's it. Thank you.